Yo! What is shaking, y'all? Golden Mike 188 with my boy Los Pina Colado. We're going to talk about intuition and leadership today, but Los, I got a quick question for you, man. 188 episodes. Do you know why you know how I've gotten to 188 episodes?
Because it's your show, brother. It's your show.
Don't you take my line, son. You cannot cancel me, people. It's my show. It's my show. You can't cancel me. So we will be talking about this idea of intuitive success. I'm super interested in hearing about it from our guest, the very handsome, the very sexy. The last time I saw him, he was surrounded by fans. He's on the road to success. Pretty much a student of the success game and personal development. Carlos Collado. Carlos, how are you today, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. Excited to be here. I want to warn everybody that I have a baby that might interfere or intrude. So if everybody's okay with that, with me living my life, and let's do it.
Don't. Thanks for the warning that a baby might interfere, but yeah, bring the baby. And your fan is showing up. Your fan is there. There you go. One fan there. So hit the heart. Let me know that you guys are alive. And even before that, I'm having some issues here. Because I want to start the watch party. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marc Cordon, positive psychology coach, founder of Make Money Coaching Academy, and also at the same time, The Joy Revolution is coming at you on January 22nd. It's going to be a badass show. George Adrianopoulos has a really awesome role that's coming up in it. No, George, the show is not canceled, son. The show will never be canceled until I cancel it. Now, here's the thing. On a daily basis, when it comes to positive psychology, it's the easiest job in the world. I get to ask my friends, my family, if I ever have a fan, I'll ask them the question. So I'll ask you this, Carlos. It's a double-barreled question. How happy are you today, and how much are you living in your purpose, son?
Well, I'm very happy. I've learned to switch from having an outcome or attaining something to actually being happy in the process or while in the journey. So that's why I called it On the Road to Success, because I have learned that, once you get something, it doesn't really mean that you're happy. And if it might bring you happy, don't get me wrong, it might bring you happiness, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be lasting or anything like that, because you're always going to want more, right? You're always going to want more. So out of 10, I have some crazy stories that if I share, I hope I get to share with you, but they have brought a lot of happiness to me in the last 3 years that I've been on this road, especially with the TEDx talk and the way I've been able to get some interviews on my show that you can cancel.
Oh, son, you're talking about copywritten lines right here, man. I'm gonna have a legal go on you, but yes, I'm gonna be on your show next week, but. Yeah, it sounds like you've had some ups and downs, right? But the last 3 years, you've really sunk into your happiness. Now,
Yeah.
the second question that I ask everybody is, how much are you living in your purpose?
My purpose, man, it's so funny. So I believe a lot in intuition and following that. And ever since I had that scary moment, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in a little bit, 3 years ago in my marriage, that's kind of like where I had that big moment, right? And then I had clarity when I did an interview with Greg S. Reed in California about intuition, how following your intuition can lead you to have success in your health, your marriage, and everything that you desire, right? But not only that, because it doesn't mean that if you have an intuition to start a business tomorrow, that you're going to go invest $100,000. You got to get some counsel. You got to seek sage advice, as our good friend George taught me that, and then you got to take action.
Your fan, George.
You got to take action as well. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
it's all about action. So for those of you who are watching right now, it's a Thursday, and are saying to yourself, "Yes, I live in pure happiness, and I am living in my full purpose right now." I want you to hit that heart. I want you to let us know that you are alive. A lot of people live in the status quo, saying like, "Yeah, I'm all right." When you ask them how they're doing, and that's what they've been pre-programmed to say, that they're all right. For those of you who are Freaking doing amazing. Hit the heart. Let us know you're alive. Carlos, how do you beat that heart, baby? How do you beat that heart? Let's wake that baby up.
Love, man. Love it.
Amazing. Now, the other thing is that a lot of people think that positive psychology is about Carlos and his fan riding across the USA, throwing Skittles across the world, making everybody happy. Wrong. Wrong. Or like Carlos and his Uber driver rolling around, throwing Skittles around, making everybody happy. Wrong. Positive psychology is really about the ups, the downs, and the all-around that you go through in life and how you effectively turn those into opportunities for growth. So for those of you who are sitting here right now saying, yo, I I was happy last week and then I ate some bad shellfish. And how you effectively turn the fuck is going on here? I got some feedback going on. Those of you who are sitting here right now saying, hold on a second, I've got some feedback.
My fault. And the
Los, you're killing me, dog. You're killing me, dog. So, like, positive psychology is about the ups, downs, all arounds of life. So if you're sitting here and you're like, I'm not as happy as I was when I was growing up, or you're sitting there being like, yo, I work in this hotel and I'm falling out. I loved it when I started, but I'm falling out of mute that, son. I'm falling out of I'm falling out of like love with my passion. That's cool too. That's a part of your journey, man. And one day, hopefully, you'll come on the show and you can talk about that growth that came from the journey. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're alive, okay? Your heart beats just like Carlos and mine. Now, here's the final thing. It's about hope. There we go.
There we go.
It's about hope. It's about hope. If you ever take a positive psychology class, this is the big one. Hope is not about, saying, oh my God, TEDx Farmingdale, please pick me. I wish that you'll pick me for your TEDx. No, wrong. It's about you setting your mindset towards, I am going to get that stage and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there in integrity with what I stand for. Hope is as powerful as IQ and EQ. So, Los, if you're hopeful like I am, are you hopeful, brother?
Very hopeful.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, son. There is another button down there, people. It's called the wow face. I want you to hit the wow face. Los, show me what the wow face looks like, baby. Awesome, dude. So let's go and talk about your story, man. Let's talk about your story. Let's talk about baby Los to now being sort of this connoisseur of personal development. What's your story?
Awesome, man. So yeah, my original dream as I was growing up as a kid was to become a professional baseball player. Now, I don't have the sad story of like, oh, it was hard, my parents, nothing like that. Yeah, they divorced, but it didn't hit me as hard. I was 12 years old when it happened. It was kind of like it just happened and that's it. But I was okay. I was going to live. Then I had this baseball dream. I did it for about 10 years for free. I think when you love something, you'll do it for free, right? And I didn't respect it enough. So long story short, that didn't work out. And I had a whole bunch of girlfriends at the time, and that was like the story of my life when it came to like not focusing on what I really wanted to do. I always focused on what other people wanted me to do, moving to like listening to other people's opinions. And so, yeah, I grew up, I went to college. My mom told me to go to do criminal justice because she said that being a police officer, they have great benefits and that I can retire in 20 years. So I did that, and then I quickly realized that 2 years of doing that, I was not happy. So again, I quit and I went to the workforce. I started working, I started doing bouncing jobs, I started doing bellman jobs, and at one point I had 3 jobs. And again, had more girlfriends, long-term relationships, and up until like 2014, when I met my wife right now, Lucy, who I love so much, she really took me in. She took me in. She was Basically, the grown up, right? I would say she was like the one that knew she had an apartment. She already had a son. Her finances were good, and I came in with like a whole bunch of jobs, making $12 an hour, and not knowing what the hell to do. But I forced myself in.
Okay.
And we got married. We got married pretty quickly in 6 months, and I didn't really have this mentality of like being the man and like being a grown up or anything like that. And I was still unclear what I wanted to do until finally, um, 2 years into the marriage, my insecurities came into play. I started listening to other people's opinions, and I committed an act of infidelity against her, which was very harmful to her, to me, to our family, and I let her down. And that was the like biggest moment of my life of like waking up, right? Of finally waking up and asking myself when is it that I'm going to become a man? So once I did that, and she wasn't upset, she wasn't mad or anything. She was disappointed. I think where when somebody has you up here and then you end up going down here, that hurts more than being upset, right, or being mad. Because
Sure.
you could be mad and like we argue and then we get back together in the night. But her hopes of me went completely down, so I had to build on that, and that was what sparked the moment of like, oh, let me start on learning from other people, right? That was the initial spark, right? Let me start learning from other people that have good marriages, from other people that are succeeding, because I was always into like personal development and reading books and things like that. And then I started an interview show. I didn't know what I was doing.
Hmm.
I started doing videos. God, I didn't know what I was doing now. I was recording this way when I should have been recording this way on YouTube, and it all looked funny. It looked weird, but I started, and
Yeah.
that was what led me up to everything that I'm doing now.
Yeah. Losa, I don't. I'm not going to pry into how your wife felt, and because she's not here to talk about that. But I want to talk about what drives someone who finds a very great relationship, to essentially almost destroy it. Like, what was going on inside of you to do that?
Well, I wish I can give you an answer that's an excuse, right? I really don't believe there's any excuse because, your gut will tell you what's wrong, what's right. I think you had that deep down inside, you know what's wrong or right.
Hmm.
But I think what happened was instead of communicating, I didn't communicate and I started focusing on, well, we're arguing, we're going through this phase, I'm gonna go look somewhere else. There goes the baby. That other people that kind of like give me that quick gratification make me feel better, and that's how it led. Not to get into any negative details, but that's how everything happened.
Okay.
That's how I felt.
Okay. You need to get that baby.
Let me get the baby.
Okay, let's go get the baby. All right, so for those of you who are tuning in today, it's a very special episode of I Love Lucy, as Shelly calls it. We got George. Everybody tuning in. Say hi, everybody. Let me know that you're watching. We also got people in the watch party that are there. We had Alyssa Twistlight go and say hashtag big share. Yeah, it's a big share for someone to come online and talk about some personal stuff like Los just did. Who's this little fella here?
There we go.
Who's this little fella?
This is Noah Collado. Say hi.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, this is the perfect way to get your ass out of a hole when you're talking about being in infidelity. You just hold your baby, and everybody forgives you, right?
That's it, right?
So talk to me, like, what was it that you were seeking when you hit that point of disappointing your wife?
Yes. Hold on. So when I disappointed, what was I seeking? So what I wanted to do, I'm like, wow, everything told me inside not to do this, right? Everything told me. Like
Not
I knew
not to cheat on your wife.
not to cheat on my wife,
Okay.
to commit this act of infidelity, not to listen to all these other people that are doing the same to their partners. I saw my dad growing up my whole life cheating on my mom. And I knew that, right? I knew that, and I still did it anyways. So I wanted to go figure out how is it that you have these people, these successful people, They're doing the right thing. They're succeeding. They have great marriages. Like my mentor, he's been married with his wife. His name is Jeff Hallman for 23 years. He's a father of seven, and he has a successful career. How is it that they're doing that? How is it that they're tapping into their intuition? And how were they able to build that trust to make that quick decision and go and, and not ignore it? So that's what I wanted to do when I started on this journey.
Well,
Again, there was a lot of questions. I didn't know how. I just
yeah.
started.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're already talking about like your gut was telling you not to do it, right?
Yeah.
How is that in? What's the difference between in that situation your gut telling you not to do it and straight up vows that you took? Because vows are also saying not to do it.
Yeah.
So
So
you don't even need a gut in my perspective to not do it. You're in a social contract.
yeah, it's again going back. There's no excuse,
Hmm.
but I just wasn't thinking like that
Gotcha.
when we were going through that phase. I wasn't when we were arguing and constantly fighting. I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay. So
I
so
was. I just wanted to be happy.
so talk to me about what intuition is for you then.
Intuition is listening to your gut, but not only that. Again, because I think you need to go ahead and get help, right? You need to seek counsel, sage advice. You need to, and most importantly, take action, because a lot of us have intuitions, but we don't take any action on it. So intuition is that feeling deep down inside of you, deep down inside that you know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know what you're feeling, what you want to start. You know what, where you're passionate about, that hinge, that inspiration, that motivation. It's all the same thing. It's that inspiration. In my real definition of it, it's a way of God kind of like speaking into me and giving me that feeling to go ahead and act on.
Okay. Okay. And so you say basically intuition is the feeling that you feel in your gut that you can't explain,
Yeah.
right? So what does this have to do with intuition and success?
Well, success. A lot of people can get carried away with, well, I'm gonna go ahead and be an entrepreneur because it's the cool thing to do right now. I have that in my bio. I'm gonna go and be a Bitcoin expert because it's what's making money and a lot of people are doing it. Or a real estate expert. I mean, people change this all the time from week to week to week. I see it all the time, and they just want to do that because it's the cool thing to do. But what do you really want to do? What is it you feel inside, right? What is it you like? Again, my mom told me to go be a police officer. I didn't want to be a police officer.
Hmm.
Deep down inside, I always wanted to speak in stages. I always wanted to write a book because when I was in the pursuit of my dream of being a baseball player, I wanted to do something like a Derek Jeter, write a book, have a foundation, speak around the world. I wanted to do something like that, right?
Hmm.
Now I didn't baseball thing didn't work out, but I can still do the other things.
Right.
So that's what I mean by success. Like you need to listen to your intuition in order to have true success. And success to me is happiness. Is it could be financial, it could be a whole bunch of other different things, but in the end, success to me is really happiness. And
Gotcha.
to get that happiness is with your listening to your intuition and acting on it. Because let's say just I'll wrap it up with this. You can listen to your intuition. Let's say you were wrong. Let's just say you were wrong and you went ahead and tried it and it didn't work out. Well, at least you tried it, right? At least you tried it and you're not 74 years old and you're like, I should have, I could have, what if, I wonder. You're not with that regret mentality.
Hmm. So so do you consider yourself successful right now?
I In terms of happiness, yes. In terms of happiness, like I'm happy. Like I'll dive into a couple of stories into what I mean. When I did the Evan Carmichael interview, right? I want everybody to know that I have a full time job, I have a marriage, and now a 5 month old baby, right? So when I did the Evan Carmichael interview, I had to take a bus all the way to Toronto from New York City, 13-hour bus, to do an hour interview with Evan Carmichael, and then come back the same day, another 13 hours. So that was a total of 26
Hmm.
hours of travel time on that bus to come back because I had to work the next morning,
Hmm.
right? So that's kind of, it gets me off, right? It kind of like, it's exciting because it's pretty cool that I get to do an interview like this. That these people are on other interview shows like Ed Milet or Tom Bellew or those big types of people, and I'm getting the same types of interviews while I have a full time job and I had to work the next morning. I'll give you the TEDx example. I had to request those 2 days off so that I can speak on that stage, right?
Hmm.
So, and I had to go to work the next morning. And I know a lot of people didn't have to do that, right? Or at least a majority of them. They're entrepreneurs, they're coaches, whatever they're doing. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go answer to another boss, and I did, which is, I think, is pretty cool. Now, I don't want to be like that my whole life, but I think it's awesome that I'm still able to go after my dreams and goals while having a full time job, while having a marriage, which I don't really think is a big deal, but a lot of people think is a big deal, and that's why they're not doing it.
Okay. Okay. So why do you think that so many people are not successful then? If it's just happiness.
Because they're not willing to do what they have to do. They're not willing to, instead of go to the club or go out for brunch, right? Because a lot of people spend so much time. Oh, you know what? Friday we're gonna go smoke weed on this corner, on this place, or whatever. I got it. I'm gonna set it up. If they spend that same energy planning to go smoke weed or go to the club or do whatever they have to do in their dreams and goals, it'll make all the difference. So, that's why I say people don't need motivation. I just think that they're motivated by the wrong things.
Hmm.
If they're able to switch that motivation into what they really want to do, then they're going to be able to do it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about this TEDx for a little bit. Because I saw on social media for a while, like all TEDx all the time with Carlos. Carlos in in some stairwell reading his thing. Carlos with holding a baby. Carlos like doing all this stuff. What was that process like? And it's a double-barreled question. How does being on that TEDx stage in Farmingdale contribute to your success? Because I have a very different viewpoint of it. I was the same Marc Cordon going on the stage as I was coming off the stage,
Okay.
you know? And so I already saw myself as a success. And so
Yeah.
I'm curious as to the way that you saw that.
Got it. So real quick, just in case everybody's wondering why I posted so much about that in my journey, is because I think that's the best attitude or approach to take. Document versus create, right? So if I'm somebody that's trying to achieve this speaking career or this become a best-selling author or whatever it is, the best way for me to do it is to share my journey going towards that, as opposed to faking it and talking like I am the successful speaker when I'm not. And you get what I mean? So that's why I did that. But
No, I
going
enjoyed it,
to,
man. It's funny.
yeah, going back to your two questions, the TEDx thing, that journey was just awesome. I wanted to document as much as I could, going into that, which was a total of like 3 months, because I wanted to be real. I wanted to be authentic. I wanted people to know that I was doing it, rehearsing in the bathroom, right? I wanted people to know that I was rehearsing in my lunch break, because the truth is the truth, right? I'm not gonna lie. I have a full time job. I have a marriage. I have the baby, so I only have so much time. So whatever extra time I had, I was gonna use that. Whether it's walking the hallways, using the bathroom, whatever. My days off, I was gonna rehearse and practice and have the phone calls with George and do those rehearsals and all that, as much as I could
Sure.
because of that. Right? So
Sure.
that was kind of like my journey. That's how it felt. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was hard. It wasn't easy. The easy part was the stage. The hard part was the training and the practice. The reward was the stage, right? The reward was walking in, standing on that dot, and speaking in front of all those people, and actually getting some fans that I didn't even know were there, and getting to meet them.
Hey,
And
it's all about your fans, man. It's all about your fans, right?
then to wrap it up with the other question you said, how has this TEDx platform helped me? Well, I'll tell you this, Mark.
Mm.
George gave me some really good counsel on, TEDx. I'm much bigger than this TEDx talk. Now I'm very grateful this thing happened. It was awesome, but it's not. It doesn't end there, right? It doesn't end there. It's gonna be more speaking events because people want to see, okay, great, he did this. What's next? What's the next speaking gig? What's the next big interview? What's the next project? Things like that. So it's awesome. I'm using it, but I'm gonna keep working. I think the main focus here is to keep working, keep moving forward,
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for it.
I do have to challenge that a little bit. Do you think people really care about what you're going to do next?
I don't think they care. And it look, I have people that
Because
do.
that's
I
what
have
you just said. You go, people are, people are going to be, now that you've had this TEDx, people are going to be curious about what you do next. Do you really feel that?
yes and no to the people that I have built a community with. Yes.
Okay.
No to the people that don't know me. Nobody in the macro, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody
Hmm.
cares, right?
Hmm.
In the macro, nobody really cares that, oh my god, I have to work and do this. Nobody really cares, right?
Hmm.
So I'm using it as something as I want to make sure I don't stay in that state of like, yeah, now I'm a TEDx speaker. Ooh, I came out on that YouTube page with 20 million subscribers, right? With TEDx. I'm a
Hmm.
big deal now. If I get that, that's a scary place to be, man.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna grow.
you'll lose your fans, man.
So when I say that people care, is the people that I have been building a relationship with for the last
Gotcha.
few months, 2 years, 3 years. If I were to show you my DMs or some emails that I've gotten, even you know what, even the people at my job that have supported me so much throughout this process,
Yeah.
it's incredible. So I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me, but I want to share it in the hopes of it being of value to other people and inspiring other people to do the same.
Okay, so I want to challenge again because, like, this idea of success and intuition, I know you know where you're coming from, right? So again, you said you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. And my standpoint is, yes, I'm doing it for me. I have the chops to stand on a TEDx stage, but I do it for the people who are in the audience and the people who are watching, so that they can raise their personal growth. So I don't necessarily do it. If no one's affected by me being on that stage, then I'm not taking the damn stage.
Okay.
And so like I'm curious as to what it does for you to be able to take the stage, right? For your growth, because we are on the road to success, or I believe that's
Yeah.
the name of your show, right? The road to success.
Yeah.
And so what does that do for you, man?
All right. So, real quick, when it comes to, I'm gonna do the second question first, and then I
Yeah,
go
yeah.
back to what you were talking about. My mentor, Jeff Harmon, he told me, fall in love with your audience, right?
Hmm.
Love them. If you love them, they will love you. And I feel like I did that by sharing my true story, by being my true authentic self and
Okay.
sharing that. Because there's other people that have committed acts of infidelity. There's other people that are about to do it. There's other people that have been thinking about it, or they're probably living in regret and they haven't learned to forgive themselves, right?
Sure,
So
sure, sure.
I wanted to share my story, be my true authentic self, in hopes of, again, it inspiring you and it being of value to you. And then going back to me, what does that do for me? It allows me to grow. It allows me to understand that, you know what, if I'm just myself, it's easier to be myself. I don't have to fake that I'm somebody else and remember stuff, right? If I'm myself, I don't have to remember anything.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm doing it for me. I want to do it for why I'm doing it for me is because I want to grow, man.
Yeah,
I'm always going to be on the road to success.
yeah,
It's never going to end,
yeah.
right?
I
I
love it.
always keep growing, keep learning, and keep moving forward.
I love it. I love it. Well, here's a question that I'm curious about because you've dropped a lot of names that you've kind of talked about, people you've met along the way. Even our buddy George, right? Who has always great words of wisdom. Um, how do you balance being your true self, going with your intuitive self, your intuitive voice, and and just quoting your mentors all the time, right? Because when I was younger, all I did was quote my mentors,
Yeah.
and so where does intuition and just always having to follow around mentors who tell you what to do come into place?
Well, success leaves clues, right? Won't you agree? Yes or no? Success leaves clues. So you want to learn from people that have done it already. So
Okay.
if somebody has a great marriage, hey, I want to learn how you have a great marriage, how you've been married for 25 years, 23 years. I want to learn, man, because I want to do the same. Same thing goes with whatever you want to achieve. If it's being a doctor, I'll take myself, being a best-selling author or a speaker or a TEDx speaker. I've got some people that have done TEDx talks on my show, like George, like Greg S. Reed, like David Meltzer, and I think a couple of other people. So success leaves clues. It's the best thing to do. It's not about quoting other people, although it's cool. It's awesome. It's cool to hear quotes. But whenever I talk about quotes or what other people say, first I apply it, right? I take it into my life. I take action, right? Um, and then I talk about it. I don't talk about it and not do it. Now, it's a little hard to do at times because you can get wrapped up in sharing other people's stuff because it's easy, right? It's, oh, I connect with this. I love this. I love what he said, but are you applying it? So that's something that I learned as well. So I think you have to remember that success leaves clues. Don't make it harder for yourself. Make it easier. Go find other people that succeed in the field that you want to succeed in.
Okay.
Knowledge, health, whatever, and learn from them and apply it on your journey.
I also think it's important to, along those lines, to align yourself with people who define success in the same way you do. Because success is totally subjective, right? For some people, success is not happiness. It's accumulation, right? Which is why I wanted to know what you meant by success. Oh, we got some cool stuff going on here. We got George saying, value is subjective, Carlos. When there's a through line in your thoughts, your messages, and your feelings, it becomes an idea. An idea, when you're passionate, becomes a platform. That platform is what matters, not the day-to-day musings on social. Interesting. Walter from Canada. It's good to have you back, Walter. If you know where the path leads, ask those on their way back. I think that's a great way to talk about how intuition and talking to others won't lead to mimicry. Because Walter's talking about, okay, here it is. I'm getting an intuitive hit. I'm going on my path. Oh, there's people on the way back. Let me ask them what it was like. And I hear all of this coming together. Very, very cool stuff. So, I mean, you said it yourself. Some people want to know what's next for Carlos. What's next for you, man?
So I'm working really hard right now to obviously build my interview show because that's really one of my passions. Mm-hmm. Is to really build that, to have an interview show where in the future I'm actually buying their flights, having them in, coming over here like other people are doing, getting to that type of level. That's something that I want to do. When it comes to speaking or writing a best-selling book, I think that comes with time anyways, right? Whether you like it or not, it's going to come anyways. People are going to want to talk to you. People are going to want to learn from you when you're building something like this and you're sharing your story like that, like I did on TEDx. Mm-hmm. So going back, again, I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. I don't have a 5-year plan. I think when you're thinking like that, you're thinking short. Why am I going to limit myself? I just know that I have a goal. And that goal, everybody asks me all the time when the New Year's comes, what's your goal? It's the same one. It's the same one that I have been having for the last 3 years. Now that goal gets clearer, I have more clarification on it, but I keep working on it. So the next thing is to get into school, to get into more speaking gigs, to get more rejections, to learn more about the applications, to learn more about my writing, to maybe form a team, maybe hire a speaking coach or somebody that can help me with my writing, the things that I'm not strong at, things like that. That's what's next. But the goal stays the same.
So if you could bottom line your goal, what would that be?
To have a successful speaking career, become a best-selling author, but most importantly, to always remain true to myself and share that story, my story, with other people.
Okay. I'm going to go along with that. Like, permission to do a little mini coaching with you for a second. Is that cool? Okay. So, speaking career, true to yourself, that's your goal. What's your timeline for that?
For the speaking career?
All of it. Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not too sure as my timeline. I'm just trying to get there as quick as possible. So I'm trying to, every single day, do as much as I can, right? There's days that sometimes I feel like I did so much, right? I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. But then there's days that I only did one application or I sent one email. The thing that I want to remember is to stay consistent and to to keep doing it every single day, right? Not
Okay.
like one day and then like a week later or a month later, then I'm like, oh, let me do it again. No, it's just every single day do it.
Yeah, Shelly is calling it downtown. Shelly Brown, who's going to be on tomorrow, is calling it being hashtag true to yourself or getting naked with it.
Oh,
So the timeline is just as long as you're taking action every day towards that goal, that speaking goal, right?
because I don't want to kill myself.
I want to ask you this: if you attain that goal, how's that going to make you feel?
If I attain that goal, let's say, okay, so I guess what you're trying to say, let's say I have a goal where I'm a sought after speaker
Yeah.
and I'm getting emails left and right to go speak, and I'm getting $50,000 for a keynote type of thing. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna feel awesome because I'm gonna be able to replace my full-time job and put more energy into that. So here where it gets creative now. So I have 40 hours extra that I don't have to spend in my full-time job, and I can spend it with my family. I can spend it in building my career more and helping other people to do it more. Because the bottom line is that we all want to help. I think naturally, us humans, we're all nice people. We all want to help.
Yeah.
We all feel good in a selfish way. That's an awesome feeling. There's nothing wrong with that. But we can't give what we don't have, right? So I'm not gonna help you. I'm not gonna tell you how to be a speaking. Even now, I'm not gonna tell you how to build a speaking career because I really don't have a speaking career to kind of like show you, as opposed to just that TEDx talk. I can tell you, apply to TEDx and look at events and apply, and that's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. But I don't really have a career when it comes to speaking
Sure.
to teach other people. So I can't give what I don't have. So I want to learn first. I want to train myself first. I want to help myself
Absolutely.
first, and then help others to help myself.
Absolutely. So when you mean it's gonna make you feel awesome, it's like more awesome than you feel now already, right?
Yeah, it's gonna help
Okay.
me. Yeah, so it's gonna be awesome, right? Like, 'cause not a lot of people get to walk away from their jobs, um, to go pursue something that they love, to go pursue something that doesn't. Because I kind of wake up and I'm like, ugh, I gotta go to work, right?
Okay.
But when I was practicing for TEDx, it was awesome, man. Like I was
Yeah.
freaking like I did it anywhere.
Yeah.
To the point where my wife caught me one day. It was like 2 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was having a bad dream. I had one more paragraph to learn. And in my dream I memorized it. So I woke up, I don't know what happened. I woke up and I'm like, I think I know it. And I went to try it and I didn't know the paragraph. So I started to rehearse. And my wife was like, relax and get back to bed.
Amazing. Amazing. So I'm hearing a couple things. Your major goal really turn this into a nice speaking career. The timeline is just taking as many steps forward, and the feeling that it's going to give you is just feeling even more awesome than you already are feeling right now, right? So for those of you who are watching, Los, this is not something to kind of come at you, but I want to illuminate something for you if you can allow me to.
Of course.
Speaking a career is not your goal. It's not your goal. And for those of you who have goals like that, who are like, I want to become this, I want to become that, that's not your goal. The true goal, Carlos, is you want to feel awesomer.
Yeah.
That's the true goal, is what it does it for us inside of us. And you were talking about it earlier, right? But like, I just wanted to reinforce with you that idea that um, everything that we do in life comes from an emotional aching that we have. And your emotional aching is to feel even awesomer. So the question that I have for you is, you don't really have a timeline for that major goal, right? That illusionary goal of becoming a speaker. But because it's an illusion to become a speaker, and your real goal is to feel awesome, why not choose to feel awesomer now?
Very true. And that's what I'm working on now with my marriage. Right? Because if you were to ask me, how happy are you when it comes to your marriage and being a man and things like that? I'm gonna tell you the truth and say that it's not there. I'm working on it.
Mm,
That's why I'm trying to get around these type of
yeah.
people that have these great marriages. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, like success and happiness, and and joy and feeling more awesome, that is the goal, isn't it? Right? Isn't that the goal always? That's the goal always. But going back to kind of like defend myself a little bit with the speaking career and book and all that crap is people are gonna want to know. People are gonna want to know how is this guy feeling awesome all the time? How is this guy? Wow, he's been married 10 years and they have 3 kids. That's pretty cool. I want that. Oh, he's been not. I don't want to say surviving because I think surviving is weak, but he's been
Thriving.
driven. He's been driven to share his true story, and he wasn't scared to share what he actually did and be vulnerable and have humility and be willing to ask for help. If people were willing to ask for help at work, in a marriage, wherever, it'll make all the difference in their lives. So that's my true message: is listen, you want to be happy, man. You want to ask for help. You want to seek counsel. You want to seek sage advice. But most importantly, man, you want to take action, right?
Okay.
And to say, in 5 years I'm going to be a millionaire. Okay, not that you can't, but what about if you were able to do it in 2 years? Maybe in 1 year. I don't know. Why are you
Yep.
going to set yourself short and say, I have a 5 year plan? Okay, well, good luck with that.
Still to come back to it, and Walt has seen this. Walt and I were trained in the same place. He's a very successful sports psychology coach in Vancouver. When you get stuck on those illusionary goals of becoming a speaker or an influencer or whatever they call it, you'll get that goal, and if you don't focus in on what the true goal is, feeling awesome, you will leave the TEDx stage or whatever stage we are on and feel like a phony and feel
Yeah,
lonely.
but that's not the goal. The goal is not to the speaking. The goal is not the interview show. The goal is not any of that. Those are just small things in life compared to what really
Absolutely.
really
Absolutely.
important. I
Absolutely.
had a blood clot in my left leg 2 years ago. I'm only 28 now. That was 26. That was kind of scary,
Yeah.
right? And then I almost became 300 pounds January 1st, no, January 3rd, 2019. And then I went and lost almost 50 pounds.
Mhm.
So the what's really important is your health. What's really important is feeling awesome, being happy. Those are the things that I'm striving for. Those are the things that I really want. When I'm happy with my wife, and Napoleon Hill, I don't know if you know Napoleon Hill, but he always talks about this. When I'm freaking happy with my wife and we are good, it's a complete difference as to how much action and my behaviors are when we're not good, right? It's like almost day and night. So my goal is to be happy. My goal is to get this thing right, man. Not that we're not gonna have problems, but to get it right overall, to be happy overall. That's the main goal.
That's awesome. Walter's dropping some wisdom bombs left and right now. It is who you become because of the journey. It is to focus on who you are being. I love that, Walter. Absolutely love that. What else do we got going on here? Yes, Walter, we got a yes, Walter. And then Walter can't stop. Learning to thrive is yearning and acting in a way that produces more joy, peace, and contentment. And I would say that not only for the self, but for the people around you. I love it, Walter. Love it, Walter. Love you. You got to come back on the show for the 90th time, Walter. It's been a while. George is coming back. Carlos, speak to Fred Benny about sitting for a session of conversation with kings. I think it's something that can help you on your journey. And then again, George, I think that the byproducts of success versus the path to success is misplaced sometimes in your journey. The byproducts of success versus the path to success. What do you think of that? What do you think of that statement there?
If you can swap those two and just experience the journey, the success will come as a byproduct. I agree. I agree, man.
Okay, cool.
100% agree.
Okay, because I think right now I think right now you're some people might be getting confused a little bit, but like I want to keep it on path. But the thing that I really like is that you stand for something. You stand for something, and it's getting people activated to have a conversation about this. So for those of you watching it, share it out. Share this conversation out, because so many people don't listen to their intuition. So many people do what the status quo tells them to do, or does they do things out of fear. And then when it comes to success, they have illusionary versions of success versus what success feels like here. I'm looking at George right now, who straight up in one of his Speakers Who Dare talks called himself a shithead in life one time. And he probably was very successful at the point he was most shitheady. I can't speak on behalf of George, so you can tell me whether or not you're right, I was right or wrong. But that idea of the byproduct of success and the journey, amazing things. What do we got here from George? Live it. Don't just agree, bro. Live it, baby. I love it. There's a lot of people here who have a lot of things to say about the stuff that you're dropping right now. What are your thoughts on what people are dropping right now?
So I just want everybody to see real closely as to what's going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The comment section going off, which I love, and I'm sitting here quiet, right? I've been here quiet for the last few minutes. You're telling me, you're counseling me. People are counseling me in the comment section, which I know is not just random people. So, look, I'm going to say this. I believe 100% in intuition. That was what started everything, right? Now, I do agree that there's a way of delivering it, of building it, or having career, whatever, right? Not to get into specifics. But that's why humility is so important, because things like this, I can look at it and apply it. Yes, I've done whatever. Maybe I'm not doing it 100% the right way, or maybe I can do it better, or maybe I can, I don't know, whatever. Any of these things can help me more. But the important thing that if anybody that's watching, maybe a newbie, maybe that somebody wants to take action, is to take action. To take action, have that humility, so that when you see things like this, you're not turned off and you don't get offended and you go forward. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The baby's lighting up around it. We got downtown Shelley Brown, tomorrow's guest. I think doing things out of fear is sometimes what you need to do to learn what you need to learn, right? So no fear avoidance there, right? We do things despite fear. You have people around that can help. Taking someone else's journey at face value and trying to apply it to your own doesn't always work. Just live it. Wow, nice stuff. It's not always a straight shot to be able to move forward in your own integrity. Sometimes we have to do stupid shit to reiterate. Nice. Carlos is at least willing to be inspired and step beyond his fears and stepping into uncertainty by trusting his intuition. Great point.
Going a bit off of what George said, not like copying or imitating other people's journey. I think you keep what works and you keep what doesn't work, right? You have your own life, you have your own journey, but I do believe that you can still learn a little bit from other people that can probably save you time, and you don't have to pay the dummy tax, right?
Of course. Absolutely. So, I wanted to throw this out before we close. I wanted to. But by the way, I have to go here, Shelley. I have a bunch of crushes going on with all you guys. Well, Shelley, I'm the only one that's single now, so like you got to deal with me. Also, it's not about right and wrong. Don't worry about what others think. Worry about who you are. Trust me, it took me almost 35 years to figure out an iota of who I am now. I have no clue who I am either. I know that WrestleMania tickets go on sale tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and I'm getting a shit ton of them, so I hope people are coming down to Tampa for WrestleMania. Here's the thing that I personally think about. This idea of success. From a much more esoteric standpoint, to me, success, there's no such thing as failure. It's only opportunity to grow. It's not success or failure. It's all opportunity. What did I learn from my first TEDx? I don't know. I know exactly what I learned. I learned how to prepare and not be overconfident just because I've taught it for 5 years. What did I learn from my second one? the importance of, the importance of studying to the very detail of things, and also understanding how much this is going to serve the people that I'm studying it for, right? So we have a lot of good stuff going on. Unfortunately, Shelly is not off on the market right now, but we have a crush on you too. And then George is like, "That's my bromance, Shelly, exactly." And now Shelly, now Shelly's dropping her own. She's dropping her own she's dropping her own plug right now. This is a personal invitation to watch the Golden Mike tomorrow. I'll be naked, but don't get excited. I'm 56. Tomorrow, downtown Shelly Brown naked. Carlos, I appreciate you for being a stand-up guy and telling it like it is from your standpoint, man. When you can get Cordon to get me to stand for something and not ask people-pleasing questions, you're bringing out a real side of me, man. And so I appreciate the fact that that's what I want to work on, and thanks to you, I'm growing from that. People-pleasing Cordon's going away. And thanks to Carlos, my guest today, he continues to go away, and I want to get right to not the tiny truths of our lives, but what is the big truth of the universe that we all can learn from our intuition, from success, failure paradigms, from just opportunity paradigms. So I'd love to have you back, Carlos, to see where we go next. Bring the baby back. Say hi to Lucy. I can't wait to have a TEDx Farmingdale reunion. George, let's make it happen. And this is the last piece. Let me go back. Let me go back here, and because great job taking this feedback, Carlos, said George. Walter, it took me until I hit a dark night of the soul and became a coach at 46 to find my groove. You are on the right path, my friend, says Walter. Amazing stuff. Now I want you to come back. I can't wait to see you in person. Everybody, send this out, share this out, like it, love it, want some more of it. But this is why the show's called the Golden Mike Live. And it's because of this, Carlos. I want you to imagine that a golden mic is falling from your ceiling right now over there, right? You've had all these experiences in life. You've had some ups, you've had some downs, you have some all-arounds. You've got some goals, you're moving forward, you're stepping back, you're taking in information. And with this golden mic, when I flip it on, it has the power to translate into every language and be broadcast to every single person all across the world. It's the super TEDx mic, if you will. Now, the thing is not everybody's going to pick up what you're going to throw down, but there's one or two or millions of people who need to hear what it is that you are about to say to serve them. Carlos, your golden mic is live now.
You need to forgive yourself and learn to ask for help. If you can do those two things and learn to forgive yourself and not beat yourself up, I think it'll allow you to understand that there's still life out there and you can still move forward. And by asking for help, you understand that you're not by yourself. And you can go out there and ask for help from other people, right? And it doesn't always have to be a Greg S. Reed or Scott Duffy or Evan Carmichael. Like I said in my talk, it can be somebody as your mom, your dad or something that can give you help. So ask for help and forgive yourself.
Amazing.
That's what I was saying.
We're going to pass that microphone to downtown Shelly Brown, who's 56 and nude tomorrow. So before we pass that mic over to her, I want you to feel that mic. I want you to feel the weight of that mic. Seriously, feel the weight of that mic. I know you're holding a kid, but you can hold that mic. I want you to feel the weight of the mic. Do you? Because there's a lot of gravity and responsibility in that kind of work, right? And you don't need the mic to continue to spread that kind of love that you just spread. So take that mic, Carlos. Hold it in your hand It's called the visioning exercise. I need to see your hand. Yes! And smash that mic, son! Because you just killed it on the golden mic. No, don't smash that. I'm not paying for it. Because we'll end up getting canceled. You just crushed it on the golden mic. 188. Please shoot this out, everybody. How listening to your intuition can lead you to success. Carlos, I wish you all the luck all the good fortune in the world, the fans, all of it. Whatever you want, I wish for you. Now, for everyone else watching, we're going to turn to downtown Shelley Brown tomorrow, but Carlos and I have one final question for you, and it's this. If you're living life at full happiness and you're living life at full purpose, what is your responsibility to change history for the better? Carlos Collado, Marc Cordon, Golden Mike 188. A very special one. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, man.